Well, guys, welcome to Downtown Melo, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Monday, June 1st, 2020, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, facebook.com/Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, on Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. Filmmaker Tyler Perry and singer Beyonce among the stars publicly speaking out about the death of George Floyd and the protests that have followed it. Floyd was an unarmed black man who died in police custody in Minneapolis last week. 4 police officers were fired because of the incident. One, Derek Chauvin, has been charged with third-degree murder for pinning Floyd to the ground by the neck for several minutes, an action that was caught on a widely viewed video. Floyd's death ignited worldwide protests, some of which have turned violent, resulting in injuries, fires, theft, and property damages in cities such as Minneapolis, New York, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Seattle. Perry, who has a film and TV studio in Georgia, said in a Facebook message, Please stop the violence. Looting is not the answer. Beyonce demanded justice for Floyd in an Instagram video. The pop star said, we all witnessed his murder in broad daylight. We're broken and we're disgusted. We cannot normalize this pain. Beyonce also added, I'm not only speaking for the people of color. If you're white, black, brown, or anything in between, I'm sure you feel hopeless by the racism going on in America right now. No more senseless killings of human beings. No more seeing people of color as less than human. We can no longer look away. George is all of our family and humanity. He is our family because he's a fellow American. Lady Gaga also weighed on the turmoil. She said, right now it's a critical time for the black community to be supported by all other communities so that we can put a stop to something that is intrinsically wrong by the grace of God or whatever creator you do or do not believe in. I urge people to speak gently to each other, speak with passion, inspiration, and impress the importance of this issue until the systems that kept the sick die instead of people we love. Celebrities such as Steve Carell, Don Cheadle, Seth Rogen, Kehlani, Janelle Monáe, Chrissy Teigen, Ben Schwartz, and Rob Delaney have all shared on social media that they donated money to the Minnesota Freedom Fund, a nonprofit organization bailing out low-income individuals arrested while protesting. Streaming entertainment giants Netflix and Amazon pleaded their support to the people of color this weekend. Netflix says it felt it was their duty to the black members, employees, and creators and talent to speak up. Netflix said to be silent is to be complacent. Black lives matter. Amazon said in its own statement, together we stand with the black community, colleagues, artists, writers, storytellers, producers, our viewers, and all allies in the fight against racism and injustice. Colorado's Telluride Film Festival will kick off September 3rd as planned despite the coronavirus pandemic, organizers announced. The statement from the festival said, we are not ignorant of the devastation facing the world. We feel the fear stress too. This is why we are all committed to observe all guidance as suggested by the consensus of voices of the scientific community with whom we are consulting now. This will not be a business as usual event. Things will look and feel very different. They also added, we are hard at work to provide a safe and joyous environment that will include an extra day to allow more space within and between screenings, along with all of the necessary safety tweaks and adjustments you've become very familiar with regarding of where you call home. The news comes after plans for the Venice Film Festival were confirmed for the end of the summer. The pandemic has caused the shutdowns of most TV and film productions and the cancellations of many live events and festivals in recent months as people practice social distancing in an attempt to slow the spread of the virus. The Telluride Film Festival generally screens about 20 films and attracts about 5,000 people. No 2020 lineup has been announced. Last year's event featured the world premiere of Judy, for which Renee Zellweger eventually won the Oscar for Best Actress. The Two Popes and Ford vs. Ferrari also debuted there in 2019. Television personality Julianne Hough and hockey player Brooks Laich have announced they're splitting up after nearly 3 years of marriage. The couple said in a joint statement, "We have lovingly and carefully taken the time we have needed to arrive at our decision to separate. We share an abundance of love and respect for one another and will continue to lead with our hearts from that place. We kindly request your compassion and respect for our privacy moving forward." Hough and Laich married in 2017 after 4 years of dating. They have not been social distancing together amid the COVID pandemic. A source told E! News earlier this month they continue to spend time apart and are doing their own thing. The insider told UsMagazine.com the breakup was a long time coming. The source says they argued a lot and just had different viewpoints on important issues. There's still love there, but not in a romantic sense. ESPN dives into the life and times of the late Bruce Lee in a new trailer for the upcoming 30 for 30 film, Be Water. Lee's journey into becoming a cultural icon is explored in the clip, released on Thursday, which includes archival footage of the film star. The film will explore how Lee dealt with racism throughout his career as he became a leading man in action films. Lee says during an interview where he was asked if he thinks of himself as Chinese or American, "I want to think of myself as a human being." Be Water from director Bao Nugent will premiere June 7th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN. Christo, the Bulgarian-born artist best known for rapping world landmarks, has died of natural causes according to his office. The 84-year-old artist, born Christo Vladimov Jakovev, died Sunday at his home in New York City. He read a statement published to his official social media accounts. The statement reads, "Christo lived his life to the fullest, not only dreaming up what seemed impossible, but realizing." Christo worked with his wife, Jean-Claude, creating whimsical, larger-than-life art, and together wrapped the Pont-Neuf Bridge in Paris and the Reichstag building in Berlin, as well as creating the gates in New York's Central Park, which was 23 miles of vinyl gates displayed in the famous park in 2005. The statement reads, "Christo and Jean-Claude's artwork brought people together and sharing experiences across the globe, and their work lives in our hearts and memories." The pair were born on the same day, June 13th, 1935, but he in Bulgaria and she in Casablanca, according to their website. They met in Paris in October 1958 and worked together until Jean-Claude's death at the age of 74 in November 2009. Christo's temporary art, the Arc de Triomphe, Wrapped, is scheduled to be on display from September 18th to October 3rd, 2021 in Paris, as per his wishes, the statement says. It read, "Christo and Jean-Claude have always made clear that their arts in progress be continued after their deaths." The music industry is planning to stage a blackout, a day where business activity is ceased and no new music is released in the wake of George Floyd's death. Universal Music Group, Warner Brothers Music, Atlantic Records, Columbia Records, Interscope, Geffen A&M, Def Jam, Sony Music, and other record labels will observe Blackout Tuesday on June 2nd. The blackout is meant to show solidarity following Floyd's death. Universal wrote on Sunday on Instagram, "This Tuesday, June 2nd, the Universal Music Group family will observe Blackout Tuesday, a day to contemplate, connect, and organize." Columbia said the blackout is, quote, "not a day off. Instead, there is a day to reflect and figure out ways to move forward in solidarity. We continue to stand with the black community, our staff, artists, and peers in the music industry. Perhaps with the music off, we can truly listen." Sony said Blackout Tuesday will be a day of action. They said, "We stand in solidarity with the community, our artists, employees, colleagues, and community leaders in fighting racial injustice and inequality. This will be a day of action committed to meaningful change in our communities, both now and in the future." Over the weekend, singers Ariana Grande, Halsey, Tinashe, and other celebrities joined protests across the country to speak out about Floyd's death. Retired NBA star Michael Jordan and other athletes, coaches, and executives have also addressed Floyd's death. The San Francisco 49ers NFL team pledged to donate $1 million to local and national organizations who are creating change. In a related story, Nick Cannon and Ariana Grande and other celebrities took to the streets and joined protests across the country to speak about the death of George Floyd. Cannon uploaded photos of himself holding up signs wearing a jacket that read, "Please, I can't breathe." Cannon also released a number of spoken word videos about police brutality. Cannon said to Variety, "I had to go to Minneapolis. I needed to be right there on 38th Street in Chicago, where George Floyd's life was tragically stolen from him. I needed to see the people in that community, how much love they had for their community and their people, and how much pain this has caused. We feel the pain go across the world, the anger and the hurt. Those visuals will never be removed from our minds." Grande posted on her Instagram story Saturday how she joined protests in Los Angeles. The pop star wore a mask and held a Black Lives Matter sign. Singer Tinashe was also in Los Angeles and posted on Twitter Saturday a photo of herself walking the streets with the mask on and holding up a Black Lives Matter sign. Insecure star Kendrick Sampson said on Twitter Saturday that he was shot with rubber bullets by police while he was protesting in Los Angeles. Sampson said about his experience with the police officer, "He pointed the gun directly at me. I actually got hit 7 times with rubber bullets and many with batons. My boy had stitches. Hashtag defund police." Halsey also said that the police fired rubber bullets on Saturday while she was protesting in Los Angeles. Halsey said on Twitter, alongside photos of police in riot gear, "Fired rubber bullets at us. We did not breach the line. Hands were up, unmoving, and they gasped in fire." Real Housewives of Atlanta star Portia Williams was protesting in Atlanta and uploaded videos of herself marching on Instagram. John Cusack was protesting in Chicago and posted onto Twitter Saturday video of police telling him to leave as he filmed the burning car. The actor said, "Cops didn't like me filming the burning car, so they came at me with batons, hitting my bike." Taraji P. Henson is working to end the stigma around the mental health issues amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The 49-year-old actress got emotional during a CNN town hall Thursday while discussing her virtual therapy campaign for underserved communities. Henson and her Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation launched a program in April to help Black Americans and other people of color who are suffering amid the health crisis. Henson said, "When COVID happened, my heart went out, and I just knew that people were suffering, and they're suffering alone in isolation. I'm blessed. I can call my therapist. I can pay for it without thinking about it, but what about those who can't?" Henson said Black Americans are, quote, "disproportionately affected by the pandemic." Her campaign provides free therapy sessions for people of color and those in disadvantaged neighborhoods. Henson also addressed the death of George Floyd by saying, "It's just like it won't let up. I'm trying to stop a bleeding wound, and it just keeps bleeding. But I'm raising money to help those who can't, who feel like they're suffocating right now, who feels like they can't talk anymore." Henson says her campaign has helped 1,500 people thus far. She previously discussed the program during an appearance on the Late Show with James Corden in April. The actress said, "I was inclined to do something because, as you may or may not know, in the African American community, we don't deal with mental health. It's a generational thing that's been passed down to pray your problems away or it makes you look weak. And when you do express ourselves, somehow we're demonized for it." She addressed referencing the pandemic. "When this whole thing went down, I just thought about the people, all the people who are isolated and suffering in isolation." Henson plays Cookie Line on the Fox series Empire, which ended in April after 6 seasons. And finally, rapper Future's High Off Life is number 1 on the U.S. album charts. Coming in at number 2 on the Billboard 200 charts dated Saturday is Polo G with The GOAT, followed by Lil Baby's My Turn number 3, Drake's Darkling Demo Tapes at number 4, and The Baby's Blame It On Baby at number 5. Running up the top tier are Lil Uzi Vert's Eternal Wit, A Take at number 6, The Weeknd's After Hours at number 7, Post Malone's Hollywood's Bleeding at number 8, Jason Isabel and the 400 Unit with Reunions at number 9, and Nav's Good Intentions at number 10. And that is your entertainment report for Monday, June 1st, 2020. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ring Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO. On Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.